I'm going to teach you a series in the chair so that you can see that all of this yoga is easily adaptable for the chair. So give me 1 second, I'll grab the chair. So yoga is often taught standing, a traditional practice, which is what I teach, or seated yoga, which works too. We can do traditional yoga on the floor as well, not the warrior poses, of course, but other kinds of yoga. And so if you've got a chair, you can follow me. Just sit down in your chair. Okay, and we're going to do a little bit of twisting. And the first thing that I like to do when teaching twisting is to teach you how to twist, because a lot of people don't know. So I want you to find your rib cage right below your armpits. So the side of your body where like the side seam of your shirt would be. And I want you to put your hands there, and I just want you to turn to one direction easily and turn to the other direction easily. And just feel how your rib cage moves. And without getting into a big anatomy lecture here, your vertebrae that are in your thoracic spine, which is where my hands are, that's your thoracic spine, they're smaller than the vertebrae that are in your low back. You probably know that already. So your lumbar vertebrae are much larger, almost twice as large as the thoracic vertebrae. And therefore, the lumbar vertebrae, they don't move very well. The thoracic vertebrae, on the other hand, do move quite well. So that's where we want to be having this movement from. So this is always your twisting. Always. If you reach for something, please reach from this area right here, right below your armpit. So we're going to twist. We're going to inhale up. And you're going to twist to your right side. You're going to take your left hand and you're going to bring it around to the right leg. You're going to take your right hand and bring it behind you a little bit. Be mindful of your neck and shoulder on that side. And you're just going to sit up super tall, really good posture, and turn your head if you like and look over that right shoulder. Okay, don't hunch the left, none of this, okay? Relax here. And just feel that nice twist sensation. So the legs are going in one direction and the torso is going in the other. And then come back to center. Let's inhale up and inhale, exhale down, and inhale up. We'll do the other side. Okay, so turning the other way. So traditionally, twisting is done on the floor. And this is a pose that's done on the floor, but is adaptable to the chair quite nicely. All right, and come to center. Now we're going to try pigeon. We're going to try seated pigeon, which I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with, but if you know pigeon on the floor, you'll feel it right away. I want you to take this left leg and straighten it a little bit, and take your right foot and bring it over the thigh. So if you look at me, it's not thigh to thigh the way we cross our legs normally. It's kind of the ankle bone on top of the thigh with my knee splaying out. I think you can see that pretty clearly. All right, now, most of us may not feel too much here. If you already feel something, you stay right here. But if you want more intensity, draw this foot back. You can see I just put my foot flat on the floor. I'm going to sit up super tall. I'm really going to start praying here because I'm very tight. So this is already pretty intense for me. So remember your job. Keep yourself safe. I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to press it on the inside of the knee that's crossed. So this is my right leg that's crossed. And I'm going to sit up tall so I'm not hunching. Don't ever do that. Sit up tall. And then just gently press and release. And you may feel a whole host of interesting sensations, as I call it. We sit on our backsides way too much, and this whole pelvic area where our hips and our butt and our torso all come together, it gets very tight. It doesn't move really well, which is one thing that yoga is very good for. All right, so if you're feeling some tightness and stiffness and maybe even some ouches, please, nothing sharp, no sharp ouches, then you're probably accessing some muscles that are super duper tight. Okay, let's go ahead and press down. And now some of you may be very flexible in this position. God love you, but some of you might be. So I'll give you a progression instead of a regression. And you can lean forward. I just lean forward. And you can try to come down on this leg. And wow, I am not going any further. But some of you might be able to don't force, all right? Remember your job, keep yourself safe. Some of you might be able to get your chest on your leg. And if that's possible for you and it's not forcing and it feels really wonderful, then be my guest. I'm staying right here. This is also called a figure 4 stretch. Some of you may know this from physical therapy if you've ever had any injuries, lower leg injuries or leg injuries like hip replacement, maybe some other kinds of hip injuries. All right, and we're going to release that. Now, do me a favor and take your hands physically on your leg and help it off your other leg. That was a lot of work on one side. So we're going to straighten this right leg because we're going to do the other side. We're going to take the left foot and remember how we cross it. We cross it so that the ankle bone is on the outside of the thigh. Okay, not crossed like this, but crossed with the foot resting on the thigh. My knee is splaying out, and now if I want to add intensity, I draw that foot back, okay? And you can see I'm very unhappy on this side. I'm already hunching, so I'm gonna lift, drop my shoulders, press my hands, and I'm doing little pulses, and I'm remembering to breathe. Not every pose fits every body perfectly, and this one does not fit my body so well. So I'm being kind to myself with some I'm still doing the pose, but I'm adapting the pose to me. And I can't emphasize enough how important that is when you do any kind of new activity for yourself, that you really stay in tune and in touch with your body. Don't ever let an instructor tell you to do something and it doesn't work for you. You know it doesn't work for you. Don't force. We need our bodies to be working well for many, many, many years. Okay, so go ahead and rest your hand with a little bit of pressure here. That's quite enough for me. Remember that if you happen to be open on this side, this is a pose that feels really good to you. You want more intensity, you can lean forward. Wow, that's just super tight for me, a lot tighter than the other side. So I'm gonna come out of this. That's a little too much intensity for me. I'm gonna work on my posture instead, and I'm gonna keep this pressure on the inside of my knee. So again, I hope I'm modeling for you adaptability. Adapt the pose for your body so that you get something beneficial out of it, but you don't hurt yourself. All right, good. Let's release that. So that's a figure 4 stretch that's seated. Now we can do some warrior poses in the chair, and I thought I'd show you a little bit of that before we close. So let's go ahead and let's all turn to the right. And let's bring our back leg behind us. So that doesn't make any sense to you. So that would be my left leg behind me. I'm going to sit up tall, and if you look at me carefully, you'll see that these legs kind of look like the warrior 1 position. So I can take my hands on my hips and turn myself so that I'm facing this way to the right, okay? And then I can do warrior 1 very nicely here. I can do the whole sequence here. So let's give it a try. So here's warrior 1. You're looking straight ahead, okay? I'm turning just to look at the camera. And then warrior 2, hands to the chest, right hand forward, left hand back. Be careful of the left arm because you're twisted. All right, so maybe it doesn't go all the way back. Maybe it's out to the side here, that's fine. And then this hand comes down, left hand down, right hand, palm faces you. Here's your reverse warrior. Not too far back either because you're seated now, so your pelvis is fixed. So not too far back. Inhale, come back to warrior 2. You can do a triangle here, drop down and arm up. So my legs stayed the same. I didn't straighten it on this side. I want you to stay in the chair. No tumbling out of the chair, please. And then bring this hand down, put your hand on your thigh and press yourself up. So that works pretty nicely. Let's do the other side. Please literally bring this back leg up with a little assist. Right, these are sort of awkward positions just to yank yourself out of. So we're going to the other side. So now my left foot is forward and my right foot is back. All right, so I'm a little sliding out of the chair. So make sure you're situated well in the chair, okay? So take the pelvis and turn it towards the wall here on the left. We're gonna inhale up. And here's your warrior 1. So you see what I just did? So I was almost going to hunch here, and then I dropped my shoulders down my back. All right, warrior 1 or modification if you need modification. And then hands to the chest, and I'm opening up for warrior 2. Remember, this hand doesn't go all the way back. Don't wing it around. And then drop the back hand down, take your palm, look at your palm and lift up. So it's up first to go back, okay? Don't just go back. Up to go back. And let's stay here for a sec to breathe. And then come back to your warrior 2. Let's do our triangle pose. So you're going to keep your knee bent on this one. Hand goes on the inside, back hand comes up. You can turn and look at your arm that's above you for a little balance challenge. Good, drop that arm, and let's come to the front. So I hope that that shows you that the yoga that we teach, we do both versions. We have standing traditional yoga and we have the seated chair yoga. It works really well for both. And it depends on what your body needs. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of traditional stretching now, not so much yoga, but stretching, because we did a lot of leg work. So I want to make sure that we pay attention to your legs. So we're going to take this right leg and we're going to put the foot down on the floor. So I have my heel on the floor with my toes pulled back. And would you give me a little bit of pointing and flexing? So for me personally, having taught yoga for over 10 years, and I teach to folks that are my age and older. That's my specialty, seniors, baby boomers, elderly. I've taught 85-year-olds and 90-year-olds at different facilities. That I weave movement and stretching in with traditional yoga. And that seems to work really well for the folks that I teach. All right, so I want you to flex your toes, so pull them back hard. And we're going to sit up nice and tall. Okay, so try to catch yourself when you do this. Try to recognize this is not a good posture for you. It really affects your breathing. It affects your digestion. This is all negative affecting. So sit up tall, lift the chest, head straight on the body. And now we're going to lean forward and we're going to walk the hands down the leg, okay? Don't look up if you don't mind. Just trust me that you're getting a nice big hamstring stretch here. Hamstrings are the backs of your legs, the large leg muscles that are above your knee on the back. We worked your legs pretty well today, so they might be a little tired at this point. And you're still breathing because that's one of your responsibilities. And then to come out of this, we're going to put both hands on the thighs. So if you do want to look up to see where my hands are, this is to keep your back safe. You're going to press your torso up as one unit. Good. And for some of us, when we bring our head below our heart, the way that we just were, maybe we're a little dizzy. If that's you, sit here for a second and breathe through your nose, okay? Because I don't want you falling out of the chair. So help your leg up. So I rebent my knee. And I'm going to straighten the other leg, the left leg. All right, let's do the pointing and flexing. Point and flex. I'm available to answer any of your questions or address any concerns or anything that you might have, a question about or feedback on. I believe that we're going to have my email available to you, so please reach out if that's something that you would like. I'm very passionate about movement, about fitness, about yoga. Happy to help however I can. All right, good. So you're going to pull those toes back. So you're in the flex position. Again, my posture went a little south, even me, and I think about my posture all the time. So let's sit up, draw those shoulders down and back, open the chest. And now we're going to walk the hands down the leg. So walking the hands down the leg until we feel a comfortable stretch, comfortably intense. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 5, 5.5. We want to feel something, but we also want to maintain it. Look down if you can. That protects your neck in your breathing. And when you're ready, we're going to gently bring our hands up on our thigh. This protects our back, and lift our torso as one unit, okay? Now I'd like to give you a back stretch because we have done some back bending today. We did a little bit of back bending in the reverse warriors. So I want to give you something that's going to release your low back. So my feet are more or less together. They're not touching, but they're together. So my legs are about, maybe 3 to 4 inches apart. I'm going to sit up super tall. I'm going to pull my belly in a little bit. And then I'm going to come over with what I call a flat back. And I'm going to rest my belly on my legs. And I'm going to bring my hands down towards my feet. I'm going to drop my head. I'm not in any danger of falling off the chair because I'm situated well in the chair. And I'm going to shake my head no, gently, nothing vigorous. Just a nice, easy shake no. And then I'm going to shake yes or nod yes. Nice and easy. This releases your neck.
This is actually traction on your spine in this position with your head kind of dangling off your spine, which sounds absolutely horrible, but it's not. It's very good for you. And then we're just going to do no movement at all. We're just going to be here nice and quiet and breathe. And maybe you can feel the back stretching, that low back area stretching. This is a really nice pose for your back because you're in a supported position. If your belly is on your thighs, you're not going anywhere. You're not putting any stress on your back. You're actually in a really good position just to relax into the pose and let your back, low back release. So I'm going to ask you to start to walk your hands up to your thighs. Make sure both hands are above your knees and then press yourself up. So for me, that was a long time with my heart below my head, or my head below my heart. So I'm going to sit here and breathe for a second. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling. And one more time. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling. And we're going to do just a little bit of breathing to close. So go ahead and close your eyes. So hands are on the thighs, eyes closed, shoulders are back. You're doing a quick scan of your body just to see how your body feels at the end of this practice. We did about 24-25 minutes of movement. See how things feel. Open your eyes. Let's circle sweep those arms up. Inhale. Exhale, float the hands down. Again, inhale. Exhale, float them down. One more time. Hands come to heart center. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Again, please feel free to reach out and contact me with any questions or any comments about yoga. Whatever it is that you need, I'm here for you.